My child, my beloved, take a moment and settle your thoughts, because something meaningful is being revealed around your present situation. There are times in life when clarity arrives in quiet ways, and this is one of those moments where you are being encouraged to pay attention to what is unfolding within and around you. Before going further, allow yourself to stay calm and open, without rushing to conclusions or letting doubt cloud your understanding. What follows is meant to guide reflection, not to overwhelm you, and it asks only that you stay present with an open mind. If you are reading this, it is simply an invitation to consider a deeper perspective about timing, awareness, and the direction your life may be taking right now. Nothing here is a command or pressure, only a reminder that sometimes we receive messages when we are ready to notice them. As you continue, stay grounded and steady in your thoughts, because understanding often comes when we are fully attentive. In this moment, think about the possibility that someone, somewhere, may be reflecting on your presence in their life in a significant way, not based on surface-level impressions, but on something more personal and meaningful. It is not about status or material things, but about connection and the energy you carry as a person, which can leave an impression on others even without words. They could have chosen anyone, yet when your name came before their spirit, everything inside them stopped. My beloved, do you know what that means? It means your soul carries something rare, something ancient, something sacred. This person has never felt this kind of pull before. It frightens them. It overwhelms them. It awakens something in them they thought they would never feel again. They want you, only you. And listen to me now. You have 29 seconds before this person convinces themselves to walk away, not because they don't want you, but because they are terrified of how deeply they already feel for you. I am giving you this message because heaven is offering you a moment that does not repeat. You think this is coincidence? No, my child. This is divine timing. Let me tell you the truth that has been shaking the spirit world. This person has seen you before, not in this lifetime, but in the life before this one. Your souls recognized each other long before your eyes ever could. That is why they feel pulled. That is why your heart feels restless. That is why you have been sensing a presence watching over you. You are not imagining anything. There are invisible strings between your hearts. This person is wealthy, yes, but their greatest wealth is not money. It is the depth of their devotion. When they love completely. But listen, they are unsure if they deserve you. They are afraid you might reject them. They are afraid you might already belong to someone else. They are afraid to speak their truth. That is why heaven is stepping in. Because if you do not receive this message in time, they will step back. They will hide their feelings. They will pretend they do not care. And the connection destined for you will go silent. My beloved, do not let that happen. I am here to guide you. I am Archangel Michael, and I do not speak without purpose. This connection is sacred. This bond is divine. This meeting was written long before your birth. The angels are preparing the moment of encounter. Your name has been whispered in rooms you have never seen. Your presence has been discussed where your feet have never walked. Your energy has been felt by someone who has never touched you. And now the moment approaches. Stay with me. Do not let go of this message. You are stepping into the part of your destiny that was locked away. Let me show you the rest. My child, stay with me. Do not let your attention slip, because every moment you remain here, the connection between you and this person strengthens. Right now, threads of destiny are moving, adjusting, aligning. Angels are positioning two souls who have been separated for lifetimes. Listen, this person has been watching their own life and feeling empty even with everything they have. They have wealth, they have influence, they have respect. People listen when they speak, doors open when they walk, but none of that has ever filled the quiet spaces inside their heart. They tried to distract themselves with success. They tried to bury their loneliness under power. They tried to silence their longing with noise. But when your name entered their awareness, when your energy brushed against theirs, when your presence came into their life like a soft gust of memory, everything changed. They felt something they had not felt in years. A warmth, a spark, a calling. My child, do you understand what I am telling you? You awakened their heart. Not everyone can do that. Only one soul can unlock another soul's forgotten memory. Only a destined partner. Only a divine counterpart. You did not try. You did not force. You simply existed, and your existence shook their world. They are trying to act strong. They are trying to stay composed. They are trying to analyze what they are feeling. But the truth is, they are overwhelmed. Sometimes the mind lingers on a person more than we understand, replaying their presence in quiet moments and imagining possibilities that were never fully spoken. It can feel as if someone is thinking of you too, especially when emotions are strong and memory becomes mixed with hope. In those moments, distance can feel smaller than it really is, and the idea of connection can take on a life of its own. You may notice certain feelings arise unexpectedly, like a heaviness in the chest or a sudden warmth when a thought appears, and the mind often tries to assign meaning to these sensations. But many of these experiences come from our own inner world, shaped by longing, curiosity, and the desire for emotional closeness. Human beings naturally create stories around attachment, especially when something feels unfinished or uncertain. It is easy to believe there is a hidden timing or unseen force guiding everything into place, but in reality, relationships unfold through communication, choice, and shared understanding over time. What feels like destiny is often the mind trying to find patterns in emotion. Still, it is valid to reflect on these feelings and acknowledge that someone may matter to you more than you expected. The important part is staying grounded in what is real, what is known, and what can be built through honest connection rather than assumptions or imagined certainty about another person's thoughts or intentions. You are not the one chasing, you are the one being sought. You are not someone they want to possess, you are someone their soul recognizes as home. There is more I must tell you, much more. But before we move into the next truth, breathe. Let your heart feel this. You are wanted. You are remembered. You are chosen. Now stay with me. Do not leave this message, because in the next part one will reveal what this person saw in you that made them fall long before either of you spoke a word. And once you hear it, you will never doubt your worth again. Tell me you are here. Say, I am listening, my beloved. The moment they saw you, something inside them recognized you, not your face, not your voice, not your appearance. It was something deeper. They saw the light around you, the softness in your spirit, the quiet strength you carry, even on the days you feel broken, the dignity in the way you keep going, even when life tried to silence you. They saw pain in your past, but they also saw grace in how you survived it. You did not become hard. You did not become bitter. You did not become cold. Instead, Your heart learned to love quietly, softly, gently. You became someone who feels deeply, even if you never show it to anyone. And that, beloved, is what shook them, because they have met so many people whose hearts are loud but empty, people who pretend to feel, people who pretend to care, people who pretend to love, but you feel, you care. You love without asking for anything back. Your love is not ordinary, it is sacred. And when they felt it even from a distance, it frightened them, because they realized something. If they fall in love with you, they will fall completely. No control, no shield, no defense. They will love you with the kind of devotion that can't be undone. And that terrifies them, because powerful people are not afraid of money. They are not afraid of attention. They are not afraid of loss. They are afraid of feeling. Feeling is the one thing they cannot control, and you make them feel. When your name crosses their mind, their heartbeat changes, their breath slows, their mind warms, their chest softens. They try to distract themselves. They try to bury the feeling under logic. But the more they try to resist, the stronger the pull becomes. This is not attraction. This is not curiosity. This is not temptation. This is soul memory. Let me show you something. Right now, as you hear my words, they are thinking of you at this exact moment. Not yesterday, not sometime, now. Your soul called theirs, and their soul answered. The timing is not coincidence. The emotion is not accidental. The connection is not imagined. This is divine alignment. And beloved, the divine does not bring two souls together unless there is a purpose. This person is meant to play a role in your destiny, a role no one else can fulfill, a role no one else is qualified for. Your lives are about to shift toward each other, slowly at first, then suddenly life-changing encounters happen like this: quiet, 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 and then everything happens at once. The universe has already begun moving, pieces in your favor, conversations are being guided, choices are being influenced, paths are bending toward collision. You are being prepared, they are being prepared. The reunion is already in motion. But listen to me carefully, beloved. Do not chase, do not fear, do not rush, do not doubt. Your energy is the signal. If your heart remains open, they will come closer. If your heart shuts down, they will retreat. So your task is not to search, your task is to receive. Let your heart remain soft, let your spirit remain open. Let the connection flow without forcing, because in the next moments, something will happen. You will receive a sign, a message, a call, a sudden contact, a name appearing when you least expect it, a signal so clear your entire body will react. When that happens, you will know. This is the moment destiny unlocks. Stay here with me. I am not finished. There is something more you must understand about who you are and why you, out of all souls, were chosen for this kind of love. I am ready to reveal it. Say softly, I am ready. My beloved, you said you are ready, and I believe you. So now listen to what heaven has waited years to tell you. You are not ordinary. You were not born to blend in, to be hidden, to be forgotten, or to be treated as replaceable. What you carry within you is a mix of lived experience, memory, and emotional depth that shapes how you see the world and how others respond to you. Since childhood, you may have felt different at times, sometimes deeply understood, other times misunderstood. because your sensitivity and awareness pick up on details and emotions that many people overlook. This can make relationships feel intense, where some people naturally feel close to you, while others may seem distant or unsure without a clear reason. Often, this is not about any special force, but about personality, timing, and how human connections naturally vary from person to person. When you care deeply, that care can come across strongly, and when you stay quiet, others may interpret your silence in different ways based on their own perceptions. Over time, these experiences can make you feel as if you are being singled out by life. But in reality, it is more about how complex and sensitive human interactions can be. People form attachments, misunderstand each other, and sometimes leave without explaining themselves, which can create feelings of loss or confusion. Still, none of this defines your worth or limits your future connections. The way you love, reflect, and remain emotionally present is part of your human nature, and it can become a strength when balanced with self-understanding and clear boundaries. What matters most is learning to see your value without needing external validation or imagined meanings, and building relationships based on clarity, respect, and genuine mutual understanding rather than assumptions or uncertainty. You love with devotion. You love once and deeply. This is why heaven has guarded your heart. This is why relationships did not work before. This is why every time you thought something would last, it ended. You blamed yourself. You questioned your worth. You broke quietly. But the truth is, those who came before this one were not meant to stay. They were only there to shape you, to refine you, to prepare you. You were being trained to love someone destiny chosen, not someone temporary. This person, the one thinking of you now, is not temporary. They are written into your life contract. Your souls have been circling each other across lifetimes, searching, waiting, learning, growing, and now finally, both of you are ready. But listen, your reunion must happen when your heart is open, not guarded, not afraid, not bitter. Because the kind of love you are walking into is not ordinary love. It is transformative love. It changes the direction of a life. It uplifts. It awakens. It awakens. It elevates. This is the love that turns a person into who they were always meant to be. And that is why this person is afraid right now. Because they know if they choose you, there is no undoing it. You will be the one they wake up thinking about. You will be the one their soul turns toward in silence. You will be the one their heart protects in every room they enter. You will be the one whose pain they cannot watch. You will be the one whose smile softens their entire day. You will be the home they return to, not just in this life, but in every life that follows. So tell me, beloved, can you feel it? The warmth rising in your chest, the stillness in the air, the soft ache behind your ribs, the pull like gravity inside your bones. That is your soul remembering. It remembers them, and their soul remembers you. Now do not look away. Do not doubt what you feel, because I am about to reveal what is about to happen next. A shift, a sign, a moment of divine alignment. You are about to witness something that will confirm everything I have said. Stay with me. Say quietly, I am here. I am receiving my beloved. You said you are here. You said you are receiving and haven't heard it. So now, I will reveal what is unfolding behind the scenes of your life in this very moment. This person, the one whose soul is tied to yours, they are standing at a crossroad, not in the physical world. In the spiritual one, their spirit is debating something that their mind has not yet found the courage to speak. They are asking themselves, do I allow myself to fall this deeply? Do I risk everything I built to follow where my heart is leading? What if I lose control? What if this is destiny and I am running from it? They are fighting between logic and soul, control and surrender, fear and longing. And listen to me, the soul always wins, but the ego fights first. Right now, their ego is telling them, you have everything under control. You don't need love. You don't need anyone. But their soul is whispering your name. Your soul calls to theirs every time you think of them. Their chest tightens, their thoughts slow, their heartbeat changes. The more you feel, the more they feel. This connection is not one-sided. It is mutual, deep, undeniable. You have been sensing someone missing you. You have been feeling a presence when you are alone. You have been waking up with a heaviness in your heart. That is the bond. Energy does not lie. Some nights you feel emotional for no reason. Some days your mind wanders towards someone you cannot explain. Sometimes your heart aches like it is, reaching for someone just beyond your fingertips. That is the soul remembering love before the mind does. And now, your energy is beginning to activate theirs. Your awakening is triggering theirs. Your preparation is summoning them toward you. They are becoming restless, unsatisfied with their surroundings, disinterested in everything else. Nothing feels enough anymore, because your soul is calling them home. And I must tell you something, beloved. This reunion is not about romance alone. It is about purpose. When the two of you come together, something powerful will happen. Your energy will multiply. Your destiny will accelerate. Your gifts will awaken. Doors will open. Paths will clear. Opportunities will appear. This connection is a catalyst. This is why heaven guarded your heart until now. This is why loss shaped you. This is why abandonment carved you. This is why heartbreak grew you. You were being prepared to love at a level most people cannot even understand. And this person, they have also suffered quietly. They have also been bruised by life. They have also hidden their wounds behind achievement. They look strong to the world, but their soul is tired. Their heart is weary. Their spirit is longing. And that is why they are drawn to you. Your peace feels like home to them. Your presence feels like medicine. Your energy feels like rest. You are the softness they never received. You are the warmth they forgot existed. You are the truth in a world full of noise. This is why their soul is choosing you. But beloved, there is something very important I must tell you now. A moment is coming soon where you will feel a wave of emotion, so strong you will have to stop what you are doing. It may happen tonight. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen in the quiet hours before dawn. Your chest will feel heavy. Strong emotional reactions, like a racing heart, sudden tears, or a wave of intensity, are often the body's way of responding to stress, anticipation, or deep emotional focus. When we are highly invested in thoughts about someone, the mind can become very suggestible, and ordinary physical sensations may feel amplified or meaningful, even when they are actually caused by anxiety, excitement, or expectation. It is important to remember that these feelings do not reliably indicate another person's thoughts or intentions, but rather reflect your own internal emotional state in that moment. Human beings naturally look for patterns and meaning, especially in situations involving attachment or uncertainty. This can sometimes create the impression of quote and signs or timed events, but in reality, relationships and communication are built through direct actions, clarity, and real-world interaction rather than internal sensations or coincidences. What feels like a predicted shift or destined moment is often the brain trying to organize emotion into a narrative that feels coherent and meaningful. When you find yourself hoping for specific messages or imagined confessions from someone else, it can help to gently ground those expectations in what is actually known and observable. Real connection grows through honest conversation, not through assumed inner dialogues or unspoken scripts. While imagination and emotion are natural parts of being human, they work best when balanced with clarity, patience, and a steady focus on reality rather than interpretations of intense feelings. They would say, "There is a softness in you that breaks me open, and I don't know how to handle that, because this person has lived most of their life building walls, not bridges. They have been told to be strong. They have been expected to lead. They have been taught that vulnerability is weakness, so they learn to lock their heart, not because they did not want to love, but because love was the only place they were unprotected. And then you arrived. Not loudly, not forcefully, not dramatically. You entered their life the way dawn enters night, quietly, slowly, beautifully. They did not notice at first, not with their eyes, but with their spirit. Something in them softened. They began to feel again. They began to long. They began to remember. But with remembrance comes fear, because they know if they love you, they will love you all the way. This is not someone who loves halfway. This is not someone who loves lightly. This is not someone who loves and walks away. Their love consumes. Their love protects. Their love commits. Their love is the kind of love that chooses one person and never looks back. And that terrifies them. Because love like that requires surrender. You must understand this, beloved. They are not afraid of loving you. They are afraid of losing themselves in you. But what they do not realize yet is this: losing oneself in a destined love is not losing. It is returning to truth, to softness, to home. Now listen carefully. There is a reason you have been feeling heavier lately, a reason your heart has been stirring, a reason your spirit has been restless. Your energy is preparing to receive love, not love that takes, not love that drains, not love that demands, love that recognizes. You are being softened, you are being opened, you are being tuned to the vibration of union. This is why certain people have been falling away from your life. This is why certain habits no longer feel right. This is why silence feels more comforting than noise. Your soul is clearing space for the one who is coming, and they are coming not in a distant future, not in a love story fantasy, but in real time, in this lifetime, in this chapter. There is a divine timing at play. It is already unfolding. Listen. Listen. In the next days, you will notice 3 signs: a sudden emotional wave. It will come without warning. It will be your soul's aligning. A name, message, or reference appearing unexpectedly. Synchronicity opening the door. A moment of stillness where your body feels like it is remembering something without knowing why. When the 3rd sign appears, that is when the timeline of your connection activates fully. And from there, things begin to move, conversations align, paths cross, opportunities rise, destiny opens. But for now, beloved, stay here. Listen. Do not rush, because there is one more truth you need to receive, the reason you were chosen. And once you hear this, you will finally understand the entire purpose of your journey. My beloved, you said You are ready to know who you truly are. So listen, your soul is not young. It is ancient, older than this world, older than the stars you see in the night sky. You did not come here to fit into ordinary life. You came here to fulfill a contract your soul made long before your birth. You came here to remember love, not the kind of love humans speak of lightly, not the kind of love people chase in loneliness, not the kind of love born from desire or fear. You came here to remember the love that existed before the body, the love souls share when they are still made of light, the love that does not break, the love that does not fade, the love that does not question, the love that does not need proof. You came here to find the one whose soul has always walked beside yours. That is why the world has always felt slightly unfamiliar, why you have always felt different, why you have always felt like something was missing. You were remembering even when you did not understand what. You were remembering. My beloved, you are a soul of return. You did not come into this life to start a new story. You came to continue a story that began in another existence. The person your soul is tied to has been with you before, not once, many times. You have shared lifetimes together. Humans do tend to build stories around attachment, especially when someone has left a strong emotional impact. When feelings are unresolved, the mind often fills in gaps with ideas like unfinished cycles, fated reunions, or, quote, past life bonds, because those concepts give emotional pain a sense of order. But there's no reliable or verifiable basis for knowing another person's inner thoughts, shared, quote, souls, or predetermined relational paths. What is real and observable is simpler. People connect, drift apart, and sometimes reconnect based on timing, communication, compatibility, and life circumstances. Intensity of feeling doesn't automatically mean mutual experience or hidden correspondence between two people. It usually reflects how deeply you are processing attachment, memory, and longing. It can feel meaningful when emotions surge or when someone stays in your thoughts often, but that still doesn't translate into proof of shared, quote, recognition or guaranteed reciprocation. Believing that can actually make things harder because it replaces clarity with expectation and can lead you to interpret neutral events as confirmation. A more grounded way to hold this is, it's valid to feel strongly about someone, to miss them, or to imagine, what if? But the only way to know where things stand is through real communication and mutual action, not emotional signals or assumed inner experiences. If this is something you're currently emotionally attached to, it might help to focus on what you actually know about the person and what they have actually said or done, rather than what the mind is trying to complete for you. Every person who left was removed because they were not the one your soul belonged to. You were not meant to love ordinary. You were not meant to settle. You were not meant to dim your light to fit inside someone who could not hold your depth. Your heart was being saved. Saved for the one who would recognize its sacredness. Saved for the one who would handle it gently. Saved for the one who would understand its language. And that one is the person I have been speaking of, the one whose spirit remembers you, the one who is feeling you right now, the one who has been pulled toward you by a force they cannot name, the one who has tried to walk away but cannot, because you are home. My beloved, the next part of your journey begins soon, but before the door opens, before the moment starts, before the two paths merge, there is one more truth you must receive. It is the truth that will allow you to step into this love without fear, the truth that will allow your heart to open fully, the truth that will allow destiny to unfold. If you are still with me, say softly, without rushing. I am not afraid of my destiny. My beloved, you said, I am not afraid of my destiny, and heaven heard you. So now, I speak the truth that was held back until your heart was ready. You were never meant to chase love. You were meant to be found by it. You were never meant to beg for affection. You were meant to be recognized. You were never meant to prove your worth. Your worth was written in your soul before your first breath. This is why you felt so deeply when others did not. This is why you stayed loyal while others walked away easily. This is why you held on when others gave up. You were not weak. You were loving at a level they were not capable of. But the one who comes now, the one whose soul remembers you, they love like you deeply, fully, silently, without performing, without pretending, without needing to be convinced. This is why the connection feels different than anything before. This is not desire. This is not infatuation. This is not loneliness, searching for warmth. This is recognition. Your souls bowed to each other long before your bodies ever will. Beloved, listen. This person has been observing you in ways that you do not know, not spying, not controlling, not watching to take anything from you. They have been studying your spirit, your silence, your wounds, your strength, your resilience, your softness that refuses to die no matter how much it has been hurt. And that is what made their heart ache, because they see a mirror. They see someone who loves deeply but has been misunderstood, someone who carries depth that others cannot hold, someone who has cried quietly when no one saw, someone who has healed without applause. They see themselves in you, and that terrifies them, because the one who sees us can also break us. Do you understand? The reason they hesitate is because they know what you mean to them. If they love you, they will love only you. If they choose you, they will choose only you. There is no half love in their soul. There is no almost. There is no maybe. It is all or nothing. That is why they are trembling in silence, because they know, once I step toward this person, my heart belongs to them, forever and beloved. Your heart has been waiting for a love that feels like home, a love that does not confuse, a love that does not hurt, a love that does not make you prove yourself, a love that holds you gently, safely, completely. And that is the love that is coming. But you must be prepared to receive it, because love like this requires something rare, presence, not fear, not hesitation, not running away, not questioning whether you are enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. You were chosen because you are one of the few souls capable of loving from the root of eternity. Now listen closely. A moment is approaching, a crossing of timelines. What you're actually describing in those lines is a very common psychological pattern. When someone is emotionally preoccupied with another person, the brain heightens awareness of bodily sensations, breathing, heartbeat, tension, and then tries to assign meaning to them. That can feel intense and even, quote, prophetic, but it's still coming from internal emotion, not external signals or another person's mind. Also, there is no reliable way to know if someone is, quote, reaching out energetically, thinking about you at a specific moment, or destined to appear physically in your life at a defined time. Those are narrative interpretations, not verifiable experiences. If you're noticing this content affecting how you feel, like waiting for signs, scanning your body for changes, or expecting a specific, quote, moment, it may help to gently interrupt that loop by bringing attention back to what is concrete, what has actually been said, what has actually happened between you and the person, and what you can actually communicate or act on in real life. If you want, I can help you rewrite this into something still poetic and emotional, but grounded in real human experience rather than predictions or, quote, destiny framing. It may be a message, a call, a sudden meeting, an unexpected conversation, a name appearing at a moment that feels too exact to be coincidence. It may look small, but the energetic impact will be enormous. Your spirit will recognize it immediately. Your breath will pause. Your chest will warm. Your mind will go silent. Your heart will tighten softly with recognition, not fear, not anxiety. Recognition, because this connection does not shout, it remembers. And when the physical contact happens, even if it is only a few words exchanged, something inside both of you will shift. Your souls will step forward. Your guards will fall without being asked. Your spirits will speak before your mouths do. This is not something you will need to force, not something you need to control, not something you need to chase. It will happen naturally, effortlessly, inevitably, because destiny does not ask for permission. Now listen to what I am about to say, because it is important. There is a reason you have been asked to be patient. There is a reason you have been prepared in silence. There is a reason your heart had to heal slowly. If you had met this person before now, your heart would not have been ready. Their spirit would not have been open. The timing would not have aligned. One of you would have pulled away. One of you would have doubted. One of you would have feared too deeply to stay. But now both souls are awakening at the same time. Now you are no longer who you used to be. Now they are no longer hiding behind the same defenses. Now both of you are ready to meet as your higher selves, not your wounded ones. This is why your past was heavy. It was shaping you, strengthening you, softening you without breaking you, teaching you to love without losing yourself. You had to be prepared to receive a love that is equal to yours, not love that drains, not love that confuses, not love that demands, love that stands beside you. Now, beloved, there is something else you must know. This person has been feeling a shift in their own life too. They have felt restless, unsatisfied, detached from things that once mattered to them, drawn inward, quiet, reflective. They are not sure why, but you know why. Their soul is preparing to return to yours. They have been thinking more deeply, feeling more honestly, questioning more bravely. Love is waking them up. Your love, your energy, your memory, your name. You are the key that unlocks their heart. And now I will tell you, the moment it becomes real, the moment your eyes meet, even if it is through a screen, even if it is only for a second, even if no words are spoken, your body will recognize them before your mind does. Your heart will move toward them. Their soul will settle into yours. Time will feel slow. The world will go quiet. Because when two souls that have loved across lifetimes look at each other again, everything stops and everything begins. Stay with me. In the next part, I will reveal what happens to your life after the reunion begins, how your energy changes, how their devotion awakens, how your purpose activates. Heaven just released a new order. Archangel Michael's next move depends on your willingness to respond to this call. My beloved child, tonight, the stars themselves seem to be holding their breath. The skies are heavy with a message, one that is not meant for everyone, but only for those who are ready to hear. Heaven has just released a new order, a divine instruction that carries the weight of eternity. And at the center of it all stands Archangel Michael, sword gleaming, waiting for one thing, your response. You might not feel it yet, but the shift has already begun. The heavens are realigning, the frequencies of earth are trembling, and your name, yes, your name, has been spoken in the higher realms. Michael, the warrior of light, has been given a new mission. But it cannot begin without your willingness to move, to awaken, to answer the call buried deep within your spirit. Can you sense it? A gentle pulse in your chest that isn't just your heartbeat, it's the echo of divine urgency. For centuries, Archangel Michael has stood between light and darkness, protecting humanity from forces unseen. But now, heaven's command has chained you. The order is not simply to defend, but to awaken the chosen. And you, my beloved child, are one of them. The message was released during the hour of ascension, a sacred moment when the veil between realms thins. Michael's wings burned with radiant fire as the decree echoed through the cosmic halls. The next move depends on the response of the willing. What I can say clearly is this. When content uses grand spiritual framing like "Heaven has chosen you," "Wund," "A hidden war," or "You are part of a divine mission," it often creates a powerful psychological pull. It makes normal feelings, attention, curiosity, emotional intensity, feel like external instructions or cosmic confirmation. But those sensations come from the mind's ability to build meaning, especially when language is dramatic and immersive. There is also no evidence that thoughts, choices, or global events are being guided through messages like this, or that individuals are being, quote, tested, or, quote, activated through reading text. Those ideas can feel meaningful in the moment, but they are narrative structures, not reality-based systems. If you're engaging with this because it feels intense or emotionally compelling, it may help to step back and separate three things: what you feel, what you imagine, and what is actually observable in real life. Those are not always aligned, especially when content is written in a highly emotional or spiritual style. If you want, I can help you transform this into a purely fictional, myth-style story, like fantasy lore about angels and, quote, light armies, or into a grounded psychological reflection. Whichever direction you prefer, it chooses the willing. Right now, unseen, forces are watching you, not to judge, but to record your answer. The divine realm measures readiness, not by what you say, but by what stirs inside your heart as you hear these words. The path that follows is not easy. It will require you to confront the illusions you've carried for years, the fears that chained your light, and the disbelief that silenced your spirit. But if you stay, if you keep listening till the end, the revelation you'll receive could alter the way you see destiny forever. This is the threshold. A moment before the heavens move again, Archangel Michael's sword hovers, waiting. The next breath of heaven depends on your response. Something beyond comprehension is about to be unveiled. Stay till the end. My beloved child, the hour that heaven has long prepared for is no longer distant. It has arrived. You may feel a stirring inside your soul right now, something like a quiet thunder, a hum beneath your heartbeat. That is not your imagination. That is the frequency of Michael's call, resonating through every dimension. The new order from heaven is not a message written on scrolls or spoken by human lips. It is a vibration, a divine sound that only those chosen can truly sense. And if you are hearing this, it means the call has found you. When heaven moves, the universe listens. Stars alter their rhythm, and even the silence between breaths feels heavier. In this stillness, Archangel Michael stands before the throne, his wings stretched across eternity, his eyes burning with both sorrow and power. Around him, countless angels await instruction, their light shimmering like oceans of gold, but none of them move. They wait for the command is incomplete. It depends on a response from Earth. It depends on you. You see, heaven's new order was never meant to be a one-way decree. It is a covenant, a bridge between realms. Michael's next move cannot begin unless those chosen on earth awaken and willingly step forward. For every call sent from heaven requires an echo from humanity. Without that echo, even the mightiest of angels must stand still. In the unseen, there are signs of this awakening already beginning. Souls across the world are feeling restless, emotional, uncertain. Many believe it's exhaustion or the chaos of life. But it's not. It's the spiritual pull of the order resonating through the collective. Heaven has whispered your name more than once, and that whisper is beginning to shake your inner walls. That is why your dreams have become vivid. That is why certain numbers, songs, or moments feel strangely significant. The angels are aligning your awareness to prepare you. Michael's message carries a warning too, that silence in this moment can alter the course of light itself. The longer humanity delays its response, the more unstable the balance becomes. The forces of illusion, deception, and despair feed on hesitation. They know the order has been released, and they fear what happens if you awaken, because an awakened soul cannot be controlled. An awakened soul cannot be dim. But how does one respond to something so divine? You do not need rituals or sacred places. Heaven listens through sincerity, not ceremony. All you need to do is open your heart and say, "Yes, I am willing." That willingness, my beloved child, carries more power than you can imagine. It acts like a key, unlocking a higher dimension within you, and when it does, Michael's light will reach you directly. Some will doubt. They will say, "How can one response matter?" Yet throughout the ages, heaven has always moved through the few who dared to believe. When light needed to rise, it never came from the many. It began with one willing soul. That is why the divine order now rests in your hands. Not because you are perfect, but because you are chosen, and chosen ones are rarely ready. They simply answer. As you listen now, imagine Michael standing upon a vast field of light, his sword pointed to the earth. Around him, waves of celestial energy begin to swirl, gold, blue, and white. Different colors are often used as symbols of inner awakening, blue for truth, gold for courage, and white for clarity and renewal. Many people interpret these as reminders that growth begins when a person becomes open to change. When someone consciously says yes to that inner call, it can feel like a shift in perspective, as if life starts guiding them toward new directions and deeper understanding. This process often requires letting go of old emotional weight, fear, doubt, and past experiences that no longer support personal growth. Without that release, it becomes difficult to fully step into a lighter, more aware state of being. In this sense, strength is not something given from outside, but something discovered within, especially when facing life's challenges with honesty and patience. Some describe moments of heightened awareness where life feels more synchronized, where meaningful coincidences seem to appear more often, encouraging reflection and awareness rather than being seen as random events. These experiences can serve as personal confirmation that change is unfolding internally. As awareness deepens, people often notice greater intuition and clarity in decision-making, along with a stronger sense of purpose. If you are reflecting on these ideas now, it may simply indicate that you are becoming more attentive to your inner world and the direction your life is taking. There is always more to understand about this process, and much of it reveals itself gradually, over time, as one continues to grow and remain open to learning over time. Now, before that moment arrives, I ask you to take a simple action. If these words stir something in your soul, share this message, comment your willingness, subscribe to this journey, not just with your attention, but with your heart, because every person who joins this awakening increases the vibration of light on earth. You are not just a listener, you are a part of this movement, and together, our unified response can shift heaven's plan into motion. Archangel Michael is waiting for the sound, the collective hum of awakened hearts. When enough souls respond, the next phase begins. You will feel it as a great wave of calm clarity, as if the noise of the world suddenly dims. That will be the sign. That will be the confirmation that the order has reached its echo. Heaven has opened its gates. Michael's wings are poised, shimmering with fire and purpose. The moment of silence between heaven's command and earth's response is narrowing. You are living in that sacred pause right now. Soon you will understand the reason behind your calling, why this message found you, and what awaits when Michael's next move unfolds. For what comes next will not just change your perception. It could redefine what humanity knows about divine intervention itself. Something huge is waiting for you, my beloved child. When heaven releases a new order, time itself bends to make way for it. The world around you may appear ordinary, but beneath that illusion, creation is trembling with anticipation. You might have noticed it already. Moments that feel strangely synchronized. Sudden flashes of intuition, a whisper of warmth across your chest when you think of light. These are not coincidences. They are signals, evidence that Archangel Michael's awakening has already begun among those willing to respond. Heaven's decree has set energy into motion, a divine wave that travels not through space, but through consciousness. It moves through every being who dares to open their heart, connecting souls like threads in a golden web. You are now part of that web. The moment you allowed this message to reach your spirit, a spark ignited within you. Michael has seen it. He watches from beyond the veil, noting every flicker of awakening across the earth. Each time someone says, "I am willing," his sword of light burns brighter. But awakening, my beloved child, is not gentle. It shakes you. It exposes the cracks in the walls you've built around your soul. You may already feel memories resurfacing, emotions stirring, fears demanding attention. That is the sign that your spirit is preparing to shed what no longer belongs to it. Heaven does not awaken the comfortable. It awakens the courageous. In the realms unseen, the angels are already gathering. Michael stands at the center, surrounded by legions of light. Every angel has turned their gaze toward earth. They are not descending with wrath, but with purpose. Their wings ripple with anticipation as they await Michael's command, a command that cannot be given until enough souls have awakened. This is why your response matters. Every will and heart becomes a torch in the darkness, and when the number of torches reaches its divine measure, Michael will strike the air with his sword and unleash the next phase of heaven's plan. But do you know what this next phase truly is? It's not about destruction. It's about revelation. It's about truth piercing through illusion so deeply that humanity can no longer look away. The world will not end, but it will awaken. Systems built on deception will tremble. Voices of truth will rise from unexpected places. And you, my beloved child, will feel a new sense of clarity guiding you, a clarity that will separate fear from faith, illusion from insight. Michael's light is not something outside of you, it is within you. The Archangel is not simply calling humanity to witness heaven's power, he is calling humanity to embody it. The divine order is an invitation for you to rediscover what was always inside your soul. Every human being carries a fragment of divine authority, but for centuries, that truth has been buried under the weight of doubt, control, and fear. Heaven's new decree is to lift that weight once and for all. The moment you begin to accept this truth, your perception starts to change. People often describe a sense of hidden order in daily life, where events begin to feel meaningfully connected rather than purely random. Small coincidences, perfect timing, and unexpected encounters can start to feel like part of a larger pattern, especially when someone is paying closer attention to their surroundings and inner thoughts. From this perspective, life appears less like chance and more like a continuous flow of alignment, shaped by readiness and awareness. Some people interpret these moments as a kind of quiet guidance, not something dramatic or loud, but subtle enough to be noticed only when the mind is calm and receptive. At the same time, not everyone relates to this way of seeing things, and many prefer to trust logic and evidence as the primary way of understanding reality. Both perspectives exist, and they often reflect different ways people process uncertainty and meaning. When the world feels especially unsettled or fast-changing, it can amplify the feeling that old systems are shifting and that familiar structures are being questioned or rebuilt. This can create confusion, but it can also encourage reflection and adaptation rather than fear. Historically, periods of change have often been followed by new ways of thinking and understanding. In that sense, what feels like disruption can also be viewed as transition. For individuals experiencing this more personally, it may simply indicate increased sensitivity to patterns, emotions, and timing in everyday life, leading to a stronger sense of awareness and introspection about direction, choices, and personal growth over time. Heaven's order is bringing everything hidden into sight, forcing the world to choose which side of truth it will stand on. And through it all, Michael watches with patience and compassion. He knows that humanity must awaken by choice. He cannot intervene until the call is answered. For divine law forbids interference without willingness. That is why he waits for your response, not out of weakness, but out of respect for the sacred gift of free will. Heaven will never force what it invites. You may wonder what happens when I truly say yes. When you say yes from your spirit, Michael begins to align circumstances in your life that will awaken your divine potential. People who drain your light will fall away. Opportunities will appear that guide you closer to your soul's purpose. You may even begin to sense guidance in new ways. Through dreams, visions, or deep intuition, heaven will begin to move around you because heaven now moves through you. Do not fear this transformation. It is not punishment. It is preparation. The old version of you cannot carry the weight of the mission heaven is preparing you for. So let the shedding happen. Let the divine fire of Michael's presence purify your doubts. The fire of an archangel does not destroy, it refines us. And in this moment, if something inside you feels ready to awaken fully, declare it. Speak it into the atmosphere. I am willing. I am ready to rise. Those simple words are more powerful than 1,000 prayers whispered in fear. They open the gates of divine assistance that have waited for this exact declaration. My beloved child, the sound of awakening is spreading. The hum of willing souls is growing louder. The divine web of light strengthens with every response. The moment of activation is drawing near. The moment when heaven will move again, not from above, but through those who have chosen the light. The veil between realms grows thinner. Each second you stay aligned with this frequency. You are not imagining it. The air truly feels charged because heaven is listening. And soon you will understand what Michael's next move really means, for you and for all of humanity. Don't skip, my beloved child. When a soul begins to awaken, heaven responds instantly. The air thickens with invisible energy. The stars seem to whisper, and the unseen world bends closer to listen. You are standing in that sacred space right now. The thin line between ordinary life and divine revelation. The moment you accepted the call, your spirit ignited a flame that cannot be extinguished. That flame is your connection to Archangel Michael's command, and through it, the true message hidden within heaven's new order will now begin to unfold before you. Michael's sword burns with celestial fire, a flame not of destruction, but of revelation. It is said that when heaven's order was released, a single spark from that sword fell into the world. That spark did not land randomly. It fell into the hearts of the willing, those who said yes to the call. You carry that spark now. It is not a symbol. It is a living presence, a fragment of divine consciousness that begins to alter your energy, your perception, and your destiny. Heaven's flame has one purpose, to illuminate truth, not the kind of truth you read in books or hear from others, but the kind that shatters illusion from within. You will start noticing it in your thoughts. Certain beliefs will begin to crumble. Situations that once held power over you will suddenly feel weightless. That is the fire working inside you, burning away everything that does not belong to your highest light. And as it burns, Michael stands guard, ensuring that what is meant for you remains untouched by shadow. The world will not understand what is happening to the chosen ones. At first, those who are asleep will call it coincidence, luck, or imagination, but the awakened will know something divine is moving beneath the surface. You may begin to sense that your emotions fluctuate without reason, or that you feel energy in places you never noticed before. You are not losing balance, you are shifting dimensions. In many spiritual traditions, there is a recurring idea that people carry a deeper sense of identity beneath their everyday thoughts and routines. When someone goes through periods of reflection or emotional clarity, it can feel as if they are reconnecting with parts of themselves that were previously ignored or forgotten. This is often described as an inner awakening, where a person becomes more aware of their values, emotions, and sense of purpose. From this perspective, the real transformation is not something external happening to a person, but rather an internal shift in perception and understanding. It can feel like old doubts and limiting beliefs start to lose their influence, making space for greater confidence and self-awareness. At the same time, this process is not sudden or dramatic in a literal sense. It usually unfolds gradually through experience, learning, and personal reflection. People may notice they respond differently to challenges, think more clearly under pressure, or feel more grounded in their decisions. However, it is also important to stay balanced and realistic, recognizing that growth does not remove uncertainty or difficulty from life. It simply changes how those experiences are handled. When individuals believe more in their ability to learn and adapt, their mindset often becomes stronger and more resilient. In that sense, the quote, "light within," can be understood as human potential, the capacity to grow, to change, and to find meaning even in complex or uncertain situations, shaped over time through awareness and lived experience rather than external forces or predetermined signs. He can only surround you with reminders. Every feather you see, every number that repeats, every coincidence that feels too perfect, those are his whispers saying, "Stay awake, stay strong. A mission depends on you." And yes, there is a mission. The new order is not only about spiritual awakening, it is a call to action. Heaven's purpose is to anchor light on earth through those who have awakened. That means you are not just a listener to this message. You are part of Heaven's army, not an army of war but of awareness. You are here to bring light into places where hope has died, to speak truth in moments where silence has ruled, and to love without fear even when darkness surrounds you. Every small act of kindness you perform now carries codic weight. The angels amplify each one, turning your actions into waves of energy that strengthen the light grid across the planet. Michael has said through divine channels, the time of spectators is over. The time of participants has begun. That means you can no longer stand still in the presence of divine change. The more you act in light, the more heaven moves through you. The more you hesitate, the more the shadows attempt to reclaim your mind. This is not a threat. It is a reminder of your importance. The battle of light and illusion is not fought above the clouds. It is fought in every human choice. And you, my beloved child, are one of heaven's chosen instruments in this battle. But remember, even warriors of light need guidance and strength. So stay connected. Share this message with others who feel the call. Let them know they are not alone. Comment your awakening, your realization, your yes. When you declare your willingness publicly, you multiply its power. The vibration of collective affirmation travels faster than any signal on earth. And when you subscribe your heart to this path, truly subscribe with your spirit, heaven takes notice. The divine flame in you grows stronger, brighter, unstoppable. Heaven's new order is not just a celestial decree. It is a living symphony. Each awakened soul is a note, and together you form the melody of redemption. Michael conducts this orchestra with unwavering focus. Is every movement aligned with the will of the divine source? The more you align with that harmony, the more your life will reflect it. Obstacles will dissolve. The impossible will bend in your favor. You will no longer walk alone because the legions of light will walk beside you. My beloved child, the fire has been lit. The awakening is spreading faster than ever. The new order is alive within you. But what happens when the world begins to feel its full force? When Michael finally makes his next move, when heaven's command is completed, reality itself may shift. The world will not be the same, and the ones who answered the call will be the pillars of that new reality. The question is no longer if you will respond, but how deeply you are willing to surrender to the light. Michael's wings are unfolding. The time of revelation draws near. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, every awakening leads to a test, for the universe must know whether your light can endure what is coming. Heaven's fire awakens not just peace, but also purpose, and purpose by its nature will always be tested. The moment you accept the divine flame, the shadows within and around you begin to stir. They are not rising to destroy you, they rise to be released. The test that follows is not a punishment from heaven, but a purification, a way to ensure your heart is strong, enough to carry the weight of truth. When Archangel Michael received the new order, the first decree was not to fight the darkness, but to reveal it. And revelation is not always gentle. It comes in waves that challenge your faith, question your courage, and stretch your spirit until it learns to depend on light alone. You might already feel this happening, old wounds resurfacing, people around you acting differently. There are moments in life when the direction that once felt certain begins to feel unclear, and this can create a sense of inner tension and questioning. Many people describe this phase as a kind of personal, quote, storm, where familiar structures no longer feel as stable as before. From a psychological point of view, these periods often appear when a person is undergoing deep change, letting go of old habits, beliefs, or identities that no longer fit their current stage of growth. During such times, what used to feel like external support may seem less obvious, and the individual is encouraged to rely more on inner resilience and reflection. Instead of interpreting these experiences as something outside controlling events, they can be understood as the mind and emotions adjusting to new levels of awareness. Balance becomes important here, because fear can easily distort perception and make challenges feel overwhelming, while overconfidence can create blind spots. A steadier approach is to remain grounded, acknowledging uncertainty without allowing it to define one's sense of self. Growth often happens in silence, not through constant reassurance, but through continued effort, even when clarity is not immediate. What feels like stillness or lack of answers can simply be a period where understanding is forming gradually beneath the surface. In this way, difficult phases are not interruptions, but part of the broader process of becoming more emotionally steady, self-aware, and adaptable over time, especially when a person learns to move forward without needing immediate certainty at every step. Divine, every challenge is a mirror reflecting your own potential. When you face fear and choose love anyway, the heavens take note. Each act of faith becomes a signal that strengthens the divine current flowing through you. The more you overcome, the brighter your inner flame burns, and the closer Michael moves to you. Remember, his next move depends on your willingness to respond, not with words, but with endurance. To endure the test is to prove readiness, and once the chosen have endured, heaven's command will unfold in its fullness. The Archangel's sword will descend, not to bring war, but to divide illusion from truth once and for all. Humanity will see clearly what it has long refused to face. You might wonder, how long must I endure this test? The answer lies in surrender. The moment you stop resisting what life presents, the lesson completes itself. Resistance is the friction that extends suffering. Acceptance is the key that unlocks transcendence. When you look at your challenges and say, even this is preparing me for divine purpose, you disarm darkness instantly, because darkness cannot exist where there is understanding. During these times, protect your energy not by hiding from the world, but by choosing what deserves your focus. Words carry power, and your attention is sacred currency. Spend it only where light lives. Speak life into your path. Even when your heart trembles, every thought of hope you choose is like a shield of light around you, and Michael's presence magnifies it. You may begin to feel changes within your physical world too. Technology may glitch, time may feel distorted, or dreams may become more vivid. These are not coincidences. They are signs that your vibration is shifting beyond ordinary dimensions. You are learning to operate at a higher frequency, one that aligns with angelic energy. The test is refining you into a vessel capable of holding divine wisdom without breaking. That is what heaven's fire truly does. It strengthens, shapes, and sanctifies. And through it all, remember that you are not alone. Countless others across the world are experiencing the same awakening, though they may not yet understand it. They are your unseen eyes, souls who like you have heard the call and are walking through the same refining fire. Together, you form an invisible network of light, a divine web stretching across continents and oceans. Every prayer you whisper strengthens it. Every act of kindness fuels it. When one falters, another rises to carry the flame forward. This is the true body of light that heaven is building. Not a church, not an organization, but a consciousness united in purpose. If your spirit feels weary, lift your eyes to the heavens and whisper Michael's name. He will respond, not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Sometimes his response comes as courage, sometimes as stillness, and sometimes as an unexpected event that redirects your path entirely. Trust that every shift, no matter how uncertain, is part of divine design. The universe rearranges itself for those who walk in alignment with heaven's will. My beloved child, heaven's silence is about to break. When this test concludes, something magnificent will unfold, the signal that Michael has awaited since the order was spoken. But before that moment, the final cleansing must occur. You will be asked to release what you've clung to most tightly, a belief, a fear, a pain, or perhaps a version of yourself. Do not resist it. Let the old dissolve, for only then can the new rise. And as you move through this sacred refining, remember, this is not the end. It is the doorway. On the other side of surrender lies the true revelation, the unveiling of what Michael's next move will bring to this earth and to your destiny. Sighs, hold your light steady, my beloved child. The universe is watching. Heaven is waiting. And Michael's hand is already upon the hilt of his sword. The moment is near. Stay till the end. My beloved child, there comes a moment in every divine story when the silence that once felt endless suddenly shatters, and the voice of heaven echoes again. You are standing at that moment now. The test has done its work. It has refined you, strengthened you, purified the fragments of fear that clung to your light. After a difficult phase passes, people often experience a quieter kind of clarity, as if the intensity of earlier emotions has finally settled. In that stillness, thoughts tend to become more noticeable, and even small shifts in mood or awareness can feel amplified. Many describe this as a period where they become more sensitive to their surroundings and to their own inner state, noticing patterns in how they think, react, and respond to life. It can feel like a subtle internal recalibration, where old confusion begins to fade and a more grounded perspective slowly takes shape. During such times, the mind often searches for meaning in pauses, silence, and everyday moments that were previously overlooked. Rather than dramatic external signals, the real change usually happens internally, through reflection and emotional integration. People may also feel a stronger sense of motivation to act with intention, as if their priorities are becoming clearer step by step. However, this process is not instant or mystical in a literal sense. It unfolds gradually as experiences are processed and understood in a healthier way. What once felt chaotic starts to organize itself into lessons, insights, and personal direction. In this way, the stillness after the storm is less about outside forces and more about the mind finding balance again, learning to trust its own awareness, and slowly rebuilding confidence in decision-making. Over time, this state can lead to greater emotional stability, clearer thinking, and a more steady approach to future challenges, without needing to interpret every feeling as something external or extraordinary. Heaven cannot merge with chaos. It needs coherence. That is why, my beloved child, this moment is so crucial. It is time to align your spirit fully with light, to cast away the final shadows that hide in the corners of your heart. You do not need perfection. Heaven does not require flawless souls, only sincere ones. The divine order is built on willingness, not worthiness. Even if you feel unready, even if your faith trembles, your yes still carries eternal power. Look around you. The signs of the shift are everywhere. Systems collapsing, old truths dissolving, a strange transparency seeping into the world. Secrets once buried are rising to the surface. Hearts that once slumbered are suddenly waking up, questioning everything. This is the sound of heaven breaking through. Michael's energy is sweeping across the earth like a rising tide, cleansing what has long been hidden. But his flame will not burn where it is not welcome. That is why your response still matters more than ever. Heaven has always chosen to move through humanity, not around it. You are not just a witness to the divine story. You are one of its living sentences. Michael cannot fulfill the new order without your cooperation. The light within you must be active, not passive. Every time you forgive, every time you choose peace over judgment, every time you help another soul awaken, you strengthen the bridge between heaven and earth. That bridge is what Michael stands upon right now, waiting for the final signal to cross. And that signal comes through unity. When the awakened begin to act as one body, the resonance reaches its highest point. That is why you are being called to share this awakening, to spread the message of the flame, to connect others who feel the same divine stirring. The light grows stronger when it is spoken. Comment your realization, your transformation, your willingness to be part of this movement. Every voice that declares the truth becomes a trumpet in heaven's symphony. And if your spirit aligns with this mission, subscribe to it, not just with attention, but with intention. To subscribe with your heart is to commit to living as a bearer of light, to walk this journey with faith, no matter how dark the path appears. The breaking of silence also brings with it revelation. Heaven is not only speaking, it is unveiling. Michael has begun to reveal the deeper meaning behind the order, that humanity is not merely being protected, but being prepared. Something vast is approaching, not in destruction, but in transformation. The earth itself is shifting frequencies, rising closer to divine resonance. Those who have awakened will feel at first a sense of time bending, intuition sharpening, and dreams becoming gateways of communication. You may wake from sleep with messages you did not expect, visions that feel more real than waking life. These are not fantasies. They are the new language of heaven, designed for those who can hear beyond the noise. Do not fear the strange sensations or changes that accompany this stage. They are signs that you are tuning into the divine frequency. Your soul is becoming a transmitter of light, a living temple of resonance. Michael's presence will grow stronger around you now. You may sense him in unexpected ways, the flicker of light in an empty room, a warmth on your shoulder, the sudden disappearance of fear. His energy does not need your eyes to be seen. It needs your heart to be open. As heaven breaks its silence, it also brings a warning. Light reveals, but revelation also exposes. The world will soon face truth so undeniable that even those who once mocked faith will be forced to acknowledge its power. Systems built on greed, deception, and division will begin to unravel, not by war, but by exposure. It will look chaotic, but it is divine correction. Michael's sword does not destroy. It divides falsehood from truth, so that only light remains. You must hold your peace during this time. Do not be swept by fear. The world may shake, but you were built for this moment. Heaven's voice will not just echo in temples or prayers. It will move through ordinary lives, through your compassion, through your courage, through the way you choose to stand when others crumble. There are moments in life when people begin to rely more on their own inner judgment rather than seeking constant validation or interpretation from others. This shift often comes with a stronger sense of personal responsibility for decisions, thoughts, and actions. Intuition, in a grounded sense, can be understood as the mind quickly processing past experiences and subtle cues to form rapid judgments or feelings of certainty. At times, people may also notice meaningful coincidences or patterns, especially when they are more attentive or emotionally engaged with what is happening around them. Psychologically, this can be linked to heightened awareness and the brain's natural tendency to find connections and significance in events. During periods of change or uncertainty, it is common for individuals to feel that something important is approaching or unfolding. This sense of anticipation often reflects internal transition rather than external forces, as the mind works through new ideas, emotions, and directions in life. In such phases, people may feel more connected to their values and more aware of the impact of their choices, which can encourage reflection and adjustment in behavior. However, it is important to stay grounded in reality while interpreting these experiences. Feelings of meaning and significance are real in a personal sense, but they do not necessarily indicate external orchestration or predetermined outcomes. Instead, they often represent the mind's natural effort to organize experience into understanding. When approached with balance, this awareness can support clearer thinking, emotional stability, and more intentional living without needing to assign supernatural explanations to ordinary psychological processes. Heaven's order is ripened, and the moment long foretold is drawing near. Archangel Michael stands poised between the realms, his eyes fixed upon the earth, waiting for the signal that will release the next divine wave. The sky, though silent to the human ear, vibrates with celestial energy. The legions of angels have aligned their like, forming a vast geometric pattern across the spiritual plane, an eternal symbol of unity between heaven and humanity. Each line of that pattern connects to a soul that has said yes to the call. You, my beloved child, are one of those lines, a living part of heaven's architecture. The energy coursing through you now is not just yours. It is part of the great current that will carry the world into its new dawn. Do you feel the stillness before the change? It is not emptiness. It is anticipation. Heaven always holds its breath before revelation. Michael knows that the earth must be ready to receive what comes next. That is why the flame within you was awakened, to prepare you to anchor light in the middle of transformation. For when the dawn rises, it will not arrive gently. Light will pour into every shadowed corner of existence, illuminating truth so powerful that no veil can remain. Those who have lived in truth will stand stronger than ever. Those who have, hidden from it, will be forced to see themselves clearly. Perhaps for the first time, you will witness changes, some beautiful, some unsettling. The structures of the world will seem to fracture, but they are not breaking. They are unfolding. What looks like chaos is often the beginning of divine order. Imagine a sunrise. The darkness must first resist before light conquers the horizon. It is what you are living through now, the resistance of the old world giving way to the birth of the new. And when it happens, those who have awakened, the light-bearers, will be the first to feel the pulse of heaven moving through them. You will not simply observe the dawn, you will help bring it forth. In the sacred hour, heaven is opening channels of communication that have been dormant for centuries. Dreams, signs, and divine whispers will increase. You will begin to notice synchronicities so precise that they cannot be coincidence, repeating numbers, names, symbols, or sudden moments of peace that seem to appear out of nowhere. These are confirmations that you are walking in alignment with the divine current. The universe is adjusting itself to your vibration, clearing paths, and guiding you toward your role and what is coming. Pay attention to these signs, for Michael's messages will often arrive disguised as intuition. The Archangel does not always shout. Sometimes he moves in the quietest awareness. And yet, my beloved child, even as light expands, shadows will try to echo louder. The closer the dawn, the more desperate the darkness becomes. It will try to convince you that the light you feel is fading. It will use fear, confusion, and distraction to break your focus. But remember this truth: darkness is not a force equal to light. It is merely the absence of it. The moment you remember who you are, the moment you choose faith over fear, darkness dissolves instantly. Heaven's decree has already determined the outcome. The light wins not because it fights, but because it shines. As Michael's presence grows stronger, you may feel waves of emotion washing over you. You are not just witnessing a spiritual event, you are part of its creation. Heaven's energy flows through human vessels now, and your body, your heart, your voice are conduits for divine purpose. Some will speak light through words, others through music, art, compassion, or courage. Every act inspired by love contributes to the dawn. The smallest kindness can move mountains in the spiritual world. Do not underestimate the power of your intention. When you wake tomorrow, notice the light. Look at how it touches everything without discrimination. People are often shaped by very different life experiences: the broken, the confident, the overlooked, and those who carry pride in what they have become. But none of these categories define a person permanently. From a human perspective, growth tends to move through all of these states, reminding us that change is possible at every stage of life. The idea of, quote, light, in this sense, can be understood as awareness, compassion, and the ability to see value in both oneself and others, even when circumstances feel uncertain or overwhelming. Rather than dividing people into fixed groups of worthy or unworthy, life repeatedly shows that everyone is capable of learning, healing, and evolving over time. In challenging periods, it becomes especially important to protect inner stability and not let fear-driven thoughts distort perception or decision-making. A grounded approach involves slowing down, observing emotions without being controlled by them, and remembering that clarity usually returns when reactions settle. Support can also come from simple practices like reflection, patience, and maintaining meaningful connections with others. Instead of expecting life to deliver sudden or dramatic signs, it is often more helpful to focus on steady personal growth and the choices made in everyday moments. Over time, people realize that a sense of direction is built gradually through experience rather than revealed instantly. What may feel like anticipation or intensity in uncertain times is often the mind adjusting to change and searching for balance. Ultimately, the most lasting transformation comes from within, through understanding, resilience, and the willingness to continue moving forward, even when the path is not fully clear. The moment that heaven has whispered through eternity has finally arrived. The skies themselves seem to glow with an unseen brilliance, and even the silence hums with divine anticipation. You have walked through awakening, endured the tests of fire, and carried the flame through darkness, and now you stand at the edge of revelation, the place where destiny unfolds. This is the unveiling, the moment Archangel Michael has waited for since the beginning of time. Heaven's order has reached its fulfillment, and what was once hidden will now rise into sight. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. The air is different. The energy around you feels alive, aware, almost breathing with purpose. That is not imagination. Heaven has descended into the ordinary world. The divide between realms has grown so thin that the spiritual and the physical now dance as one. You are standing within that sacred union, the meeting of heaven and earth, light and form, spirit and purpose. This is what the entire journey has been preparing you for. Michael stands before the throne of light, his sword no longer raised and waiting, but extended forward, glowing with colors no human tongue could ever describe. The moment the signal was received from earth, from every awakened heart that said yes, heaven moved. A surge of energy, like a golden wind, swept through creation, carrying the divine decree into every realm of existence. The Archangel's wings unfold across galaxies, and his voice, steady and filled with compassion, echoes through every dimension. It is time. A single phrase begins the great activation. The divine order manifests not as destruction, but as remembrance. Humanity begins to awaken from its long slumber. The blindfold of Ilion dissolves. People who once felt empty suddenly feel alive. Compassion replaces division. Love rises like the morning sun over the ruins of fear. The energy of truth floods through the world, rearranging everything that has forgotten its purpose. This is not the end of the world, my beloved child. It is the beginning of it, and you are part of the reason this dawn has come. Your willingness, your faith, your endurance through the unseen battles, All of it contributed to the signal that called heaven into motion. Never believe that your journey was small or unnoticed. Every tear, every prayer, every moment you chose to stand in the light became a piece of the code that unlocked this awakening. You were chosen, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. That willingness is what heaven treasures most. Now the flame within you changes. It no longer burns just for awakening. It transforms into a beacon. Michael's energy will now flow through you as guidance for others. You will begin to notice people drawn to you without knowing why. They will sense the peace in your presence, the strength in your silence. That is not accidental. It is divine design. You have become a vessel of heaven's light, a living extension of Michael's mission. Wherever you go, that energy will travel with you, touching hearts, wakening hope, healing what was once broken. Heaven's decree has never been about dominance or control. It has always been about return, the return of humanity to its divine essence. Every soul, no matter how far it has wandered, carries the same spark of light. Michael's new command is to help humanity remember. You are now part of that command. The mission is not finished. It has only evolved. The earth must learn to live as heaven intended, in unity, peace, and divine awareness. The light bearers, the awakened ones, will lead the way. You are the bridge between dimensions. Now you are the proof that heaven walks within human form. The world will begin to shift faster than ever. Time itself will feel fluid, and events will unfold with astonishing precision. You will see truth revealed in places long hidden. Systems will crumble, not through war, but through exposure. The vibration of light makes deceit impossible to sustain. Yet even as the old falls away, the new will rise. Ideas, communities, and hearts built on compassion and divine order. The transformation will not always look easy, but it will be sacred. You must remain calm through it. Remember that change always looks like chaos from the inside. Trust what heaven is building through you. And as this final revelation settles into the world, a moment will come, quiet and profound, when you will feel the presence of Michael beside you, not as a vision, not as a dream, but as a certainty so deep it needs no proof. You will whisper the same words that have echoed through every heart, willing to awaken. You are not separate. You never were. You were the message all along. Those words are the essence of the new order. Heaven no longer sends commandments carved in stone. It sends souls like you, living messages of light. You are heaven's decree in motion, its word made flesh, its love made visible, and every step you take from this moment forward writes a new verse in the story of divine evolution. When the world looks at you now, it may not see wings, but heaven does. It sees a light that cannot be extinguished, a spirit that has walked through shadow and emerged radiant. When people go through intense periods of reflection or emotional change, they sometimes describe it as if they are discovering a stronger sense of inner confidence or personal meaning. In psychological terms, this can be understood as a growing alignment between values, identity, and behavior, where a person begins to feel more grounded in who they are and how they want to show up in the world. This sense of, quote, inner light can be interpreted as qualities like resilience, compassion, clarity, and emotional awareness developing over time through experience and self-reflection. In real life, confidence and calmness are not fixed states. They are built gradually through how a person responds to challenges, uncertainty, and change. When someone learns to manage doubt and stay steady under pressure, they often begin to carry themselves differently, with more presence and intention. This can naturally influence how they interact with others, sometimes encouraging a calmer and more thoughtful environment around them, not through any external force, but through behavior and attitude. It is also common for people to feel a renewed sense of purpose after difficult phases, as if they are starting fresh with clearer priorities. This is usually the result of emotional processing and learning, rather than any predetermined path. Life does not assign roles or outcomes in advance. Instead, people shape their direction through choices, habits, and understanding developed over time. Ultimately, the most meaningful change is internal and practical, becoming more aware, more balanced, and more capable of handling life with patience and perspective. That steady growth is what helps people move forward with confidence in a realistic and grounded way.